Okay, so now we have to start with canonical correlation analysis. Let me share my screen. Okay, so canonical correlation analysis is again like the earlier topics, sort of an exploratory analysis. We don't assume any distributional properties here. Okay. You have studied different types of correlations, am I right? So what all correlations have you studied? My screen is still visible, right?
Yes, ma'am. The Pearsonian product correlation coefficient.
Okay. Then
Uh, then something.
Linear correlation coefficient, sample correlation.
okay.
And the point biserial and biserial one.
Sorry?
Point biserial and biserial correlation.
I did not get you.
Ma'am, the biserial correlation.
Biserial correlation, okay. Others have others also studied biserial correlation?
Spearman correlation.
Spearman correlation, okay.
Ma'am, the point biserial correlation.
Okay, what about others? Others, have they heard of these words?
No, yes, we heard about it, but we haven't studied it.
Okay,
yet.
so let's keep this aside. I want to know what you have studied. Pearson, Spearman, then?
Rank correlation.
Rank correlation, okay.
Yes.
Is linear different than Pearson? Is rank different than Spearman?
Rank and Spearman is same. There's
And
also a Kendall rank correlation.
Kendall rank is there, but have you studied it?
No, not completely.
Okay.
I've just gone through the formulas.
No, not you. As a part of syllabus.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So these things we'll keep aside. I want to know what all you have studied as part of syllabus.
It's only Pearson's and Spearman's correlation.
Nothing else?
Both. No.
Partial correlation.
Partial, multiple.
Partial correlation.
Yes.
Visru naka. Partial correlation, multiple correlation. Has everyone heard these words?
Yes.
Have you
Yes, ma'am.
studied it as part of your BSc or MSc syllabus?
Yes.
Okay.
BSc.
Okay. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 everyone has studied. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let me talk about these 4 only. I'm not talking about others. Okay. So these 4. What is the range of correlation coefficient for linear or Pearson's usual correlation?
-1 to +1.
-1 to +1. What about Spearman's?
It is also
-1
-1 to +1.
to +1. What about partial and multiple?
And multiple is 0 to +1.
Okay.
And it is again partial is -1 to +1.
Okay. So first thing, multiple correlation is different than others with respect to range. Correct? Okay. Now what exactly is multiple correlation coefficient? First of all, your Spearman and Pearson usual correlations, you have some x, some y, you compute correlation between them. What happens in multiple correlation? What do you have on one hand and other hand?
The dependent variables and the independent variable.
Okay, so you have some dependent variables. How many you have dependent?
That depends on the analysis.
Have you studied this case? Have you studied this case? Have you computed multiple correlation with x1, x2 on one side and y1, y2 on other side? Do you have a formula?
Only one independent variable.
Ma'am, I think there must be some y, and we will be calculating the multiple correlation coefficient y with some linear function of the predictors.
Okay, so y is what? Dependent or independent?
Y is dependent variable.
Okay, so you are suggesting something like this.
Yes, ma'am.
One variable on one side and a group of variables on other side.
Yes.
No, ma'am, not exactly.
I have known about this.
Ma'am, not exactly. We will be considering the correlation.
Yes, but you have multiple variables. That's what I want to say.
Yes.
So you someone was saying that it depends on case, but has anyone studied this type of scenario, like multiple things here and multiple things here?
Ma'am, in that case, it's a ratio of variance explained by independent upon variance explained by the dependent. But it's not a general case that we have studied.
As part of your syllabus, have you studied this, that multiple
No, ma'am.
variables on
No.
this
No,
side
ma'am.
and multiple variables on
No.
this side?
No, we haven't even, I think, go through all this stuff. I have only known about one dependent variable and other independent variable.
Okay, so that's what I'm asking. Prathamesh, have you studied as part of the syllabus multiple dependent variables on one side?
No, ma'am.
So I have been, from the beginning of the class, I have been saying as part of the syllabus only, because I want to judge what everyone has studied. Okay, so if you have personally studied, that's a different story. I can't assume that as a prior knowledge and go ahead. Okay, so far you have studied only up to this case, one dependent and then a linear combination of independent. So that is actually called as multiple correlation. Okay, so what do you do here? You compute some linear combination of xi's, say alpha 1 x1 plus alpha 2 x2 plus alpha p xp, and you compute correlation between y and that linear combination. Because it's a linear combination, it becomes like a single variable, and that correlation you call as multiple correlation if alpha i's are chosen in such a way as to maximize this correlation. Am I right? Does everyone remember this?
Yes, ma'am.
So you have a dependent variable y, you call it as dependent variable, and you have some variables x1, x2, xp, you call them as, say, independent variables. Then if you denote this by a vector, then multiple correlation between y and x you can define. So multiple correlation between y and x would be defined as maximum possible value of correlation between y and sum over alpha I xi, I going from 1 to p, where maximum is taken over all possible values of alpha I. Is there any condition on alpha i's? Is there any condition on alpha i's?
Yes, ma'am. The alpha is must be so chosen that the error sum of squares are minimized.
Error, no, that actually will guarantee that your correlation is maximum. But is there any other condition on alpha i's? No. Okay, fine. So you try to choose that linear combination of xi's which gives you highest possible correlation with y, and that correlation you start calling as multiple correlation. Does everyone know up to this point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What about others, those who have not talked? Does everyone know up to this point?
Yes.
Okay, so now we have to go one step ahead. Now we have to introduce multiple variables here also instead of one variable. Okay, that is where canonical correlation comes into picture. So canonical correlation will be between two vectors. Okay, so you have one vector, say x, which is x1, x2, xp, and you have another vector y, which is, say, y1, y2, yk. Okay, p need not be equal to k. P and k are any two natural numbers. Okay, then we have to compute some sort of correlation between these vectors. We know normally this correlation will be a matrix, but we want a single number now, so we will call that as canonical correlation. So canonical correlation will be actually a generalization of multiple correlation. So in multiple correlation, what we did is we have a vector x and we converted it into a linear combination so that we finally have a single variable. So we will do exactly that thing here. So this will actually be correlation between sum over alpha I xi, I going from 1 to p, and sum over beta j yj, j going from 1 to k, and you choose alpha i's and beta j's in such a way that this correlation is maximized. Okay, you choose alpha i's and beta j's in such a way that you get maximum possible correlation between linear combination of xi's and linear combination of yj's. So that correlation will be called as canonical correlation. Okay, so it is a direct generalization of multiple correlation. Let me slightly scroll things. Yeah, see, so it is exactly similar to what we did in multiple correlation, just that in multiple correlation we had only one y and a linear combination of xi's. Here we will have linear combination of xi's and linear combination of yj's, and again the coefficients will be chosen in such a way that we get the maximum possible value for correlation. Okay. Now any reason why multiple correlation is always between 0 1? Why is it not negative? Any intuitive justification?
Ma'am, a negative means a negative value of multiple correlation coefficient will actually it will not make sense.
That's why I'm asking why it won't make sense.
Ma'am, actually, ultimately we are calculating the correlation coefficient between the target variable and some linear combination of the suspected predictor variables. So, ma'am, the negative value of that particular correlation coefficient will somewhere will tell that there is some negative relation between those linear function and the y, and that is actually not means it is not actually interpretable anyhow.
Why? I
Why?
can.
the
Actually,
positive
No, no.
value.
why?
Wait, Kushal. I can use something as a predictor even if it is negatively correlated. For example, number of hours I spent on watching TV would be negatively correlated with my exam score, and I can still use it as a predictor. There is no harm in it. Regression doesn't have to be always with the positively correlated variables.
Yes. But actually, here, ma'am, actually, we are not studying the relationship or the linear relationship between the y and the direct variables. We are actually studying the relationship between y and the set of some predictors. So in that case, just getting some negative values for that particular correlation coefficient means like that set of predictors and y is like anyhow negatively related is not making actually sense in that case.
No. To you it is not making sense. To you it is not making sense. To me it's not an issue. Why? I mean, see, first of all, when you launch a study, before launching a study, you are not supposed to know whether they are negatively correlated or positively correlated. If you know it in advance, then why are you studying? So I don't know, suppose anything about my variables, and they turn out to be negatively correlated. That's perfectly fine. What is the problem? I will give that interpretation that they are negatively correlated. I can't say that the result is senseless just because I don't like it. And that's why I'm saying I don't know how many data sets you have analyzed in regression so far. It is perfectly alright to use negatively related variables to predict about something.
Ma'am, in this first case, like multiple correlation, what we are doing is basically comparing variance explained by the independent variables on the dependent variables, and which is divided by the complete variance of the independent or dependent variable. So in that case, since it is a ratio, it cannot be lesser than 0 in any case.
But mathematically it is possible na that we can get negative values.
And I am asking intuitively. From formula you cannot get but I'm asking intuitively why you shouldn't get. By formula, whether you get or not, then I don't need your brain there. Formula tells me that okay, it's not going to be negative. But I'm asking intuitively, why can't it be negative? You can define some other way and it would be negative. I mean, why did people choose it in this way that it remains positive?
Ma'am, actually, it is interpretable whenever some y is negatively related with x. Like on an average, when x is increasing, then y is decreasing. We can
So it
say
is still interpretable, na? What is the problem?
yeah,
Ma'am,
but
I
ma'am,
think
but ma'am, whenever we are considering a set of predictors, like how y is behaving,
No,
or
that's what I'm
how
saying. Kushal, I can have two variables, say x1, x2, and both of them can be negatively related with y, and it still doesn't cause any harm. I can still use both of them very well to predict y. That is not a problem. I can have
ma'am,
both of them to be negative. Yes, Shrutakirti.
ma'am,
Ma'am,
correlation
Let
means
her talk.
there
Let
should
her
be.
talk. Yes.
Ma'am, correlation means there should be a relationship between y and x. There, it can be positive, it can be negative. But intuitively, either there is a relation or there is no relation.
No relation doesn't mean negative
So
relation.
because of that.
No. No relation and
So it
negative
will be a
relation are
zero,
two
na?
different things. No. Negative. If there is a negative relation, why can't multiple correlation be negative intuitively, not by formula? If at all you want to look at formula, just look at this formula, not the final formula. Look at this formula and tell me why can't it be negative?
ma'am, ma'am, another try.
Hmm.
Possibly, the thing is that whenever yes, ma'am, as you have claimed that we can definitely compute the individual correlation coefficient, ma'am. But that doesn't mean that suppose y is highly related with, or there is some good strength between y and x1 and y and x2. But ma'am, that doesn't tell that y is directly related with x1 and x2, since there must be some effects. Suppose y is highly related with x2, maybe
Highly
only
means
because of the.
highly. Wait. First, you have to be precise.
I
Highly means positively. Do you mean, or
both
because it
both
can?
both it is near to both if it is near to one, and both if it is near to -1.
Huh.
I'm saying that it is strongly related.
Correct. Huh.
Maybe it is strongly related to x1 and x2, but the thing is that maybe they're not actually, maybe some x1 is not directly related to y1, directly related to y. Maybe there is some other variable is affecting x1. So ma'am, but in this matter of study, we are actually interested in that.
No. See, don't. That's what I've been trying to say. I am not talking about whether your study is sensible or not. That's all your own interpretation. Something which makes sense to you may not make sense to others, and something which makes sense to me may not make sense to you. I want precise answers. Whether you find something sensible is a different story. That is not a precise answer. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it should not be the case. You are finding it difficult to accept that you can study with a group of variables which are negatively related. But no, I can still accept it.
No,
I don't find it that insensible.
Ma'am, that definitely can happen. Actually,
Yes.
it will definitely happen. But multiple correlation coefficient, the target of calculating the multiple correlation coefficient is that how on an average the total.
No, it's not average. It's not average. Alpha is can be alpha is need not be one by p, 1/p, 1/p. Alpha is can be anything. One alpha can be very low, other can be very high.
Okay. Yeah. Then to be more precise, then how there is
No,
the
I
total
am
delta
still see. Please let me complete. I am still saying that if all xi's are negatively correlated with y, then in your sense, on an average, will also the correlation will be negative, na? Are you insisting that? I can have all xi's to be negatively correlated. I am not saying about just one xi negative and other positive. I can have a group of variables, each one of which is negatively correlated with y. Then what is your final answer? Is it still positive? And if yes, why?
Ma'am, in this equation where y is dependent and x1, x2, xn are independent variables.
Hmm.
In this case, multiple correlation only signifies the effect of x1, x2, xn on y. So even if the correlation between those x1 and y is negative, there will be a certain effect. And to study this effect, the effect will always be positive in either of the cases.
Why would effect be always positive?
Ma'am, even if it affects negatively,
Hmm.
it still is an effect. And even if
But
it,
why are you calling negative effect as positive effect? If it affects negatively, it's a negative effect. What is your definition of positive effect?
Ma'am,
No, give me mathematical definition of positive effect first.
if
There is a
y-
problem in that.
If
There
x
is a
increases, then y would also increase.
then
That's the
if
positive
xi's are negatively correlated with y, so it would, if all, let's talk about only two xi's. Okay, suppose I have y and I have x1 x2. Suppose correlation between y and x1 is negative, say minus 0.8. Correlation between y and x2 is say minus 0.7. It means
Okay.
that if x1 increases, y decreases. If x2 increases, y decreases. So even if x1 and x2 both increase, y would decrease. Y would still
Ma'am,
decrease.
But in this case, take another example, like if y and
No,
x1 is
answer
0,
me why.
minus
See,
0.8.
whatever answer you give, it should be applicable to all the cases, because you all agreed that
Yes, ma'am.
multiple correlation is always positive. So in this case, why would it be positive? Give me the answer.
Yes, ma'am. I just want to
Ma'am.
explain it with a different value, so it would be more clear. Like,
Okay.
consider correlation y comma x2 as 0.8
Plus,
plus 0.8.
no, that
So-
case I don't want. No, that's what I'm saying. If all xi's are negatively correlated, then so you are telling me a sub case only, that okay, in this case why it would be positive. I'm asking why is it always positive?
Ma'am, even in this case, we'll have to calculate the effect, right? We are only measuring the effect, whether it be negative or it be positive. It
Here
doesn't
overall
matter
effect
to us.
will be negative because both xi's are negatively correlated. Why would y increase if I decrease both the xi's?
Ma'am, we are choosing alphas, right? So
Exactly,
we
huh?
can
Okay, finally
alpha
someone
to
has
be
started to
negative
make some
in this case,
sense.
and then we will get a max as a positive.
Who is talking? May I know?
Samruddha.
Yes, yeah. Can you repeat?
So we have a choice on alpha.
Correct.
Yeah. So in case y1, y and x1, we will its correlation negative.
Correct.
We will choose
We'll
alpha to
choose
be
negative
-1
alpha. Exactly. This is the very simple answer. You all are getting distracted unnecessarily. See, you are taking maximum. You are choosing alphas in such a way that the correlation is maximum. So if for some choice of alpha you are getting negative correlation, then for minus alpha with the same coefficient values, just with negative sign, you will get positive correlation, and you are supposed to choose maximum. So of course you will choose the positive value. You can never have negative as maximum in this case, because if for certain combination of alpha xi, if your correlation is negative, then for minus alpha xi, your correlation becomes positive. And that's why there is no conditional alpha is. I tried to give you a hint. Is there any conditional alpha is? No, alpha is can be negative, positive, anything. So if someone claims that my multiple correlation is say minus 0.8, then you will ask that person, okay, for what linear combination you are getting it. So that person is getting for this summation alpha xi. You make it summation minus alpha xi, the correlation becomes plus 0.8. And of course plus 0.8 is larger, and you are supposed to choose the maximum value. So you can never have a negative value as maximum here. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
That's why I said focus only on this formula. Intuitive answers. Intuitive answers are something which should make sense very easily. You don't have to go to complicated formula. Here, see, you are choosing maximum. If the maximum is negative, then it leads to contradiction, because if you are claiming that maximum is negative, I can simply change my alpha is to minus alpha is, and I'll get the value to be positive. And positive is supposed to be larger. So I can never have a maximum to be negative. That's all. So any case, whatever may be relationship between y's and xi's, let them be negatively correlated with each other, let them be positively correlated with each other, or let it be that some y's are some xi's are negatively correlated, some xi's are positively correlated. Okay, in every case, finally the maximum is always going to be positive, because if you are going to claim that maximum is negative, someone else can immediately multiply all your coefficients by -1. They don't even have to change the magnitude, just multiply by -1, your correlation will change in sign. And because we are taking maximum, we have to go with the positive sign, because positive sign thing is always going to be larger. Okay, so same story is going to happen here in canonical correlation. You can never get a negative canonical correlation because you are choosing linear combinations. So you can choose alpha i's and beta j's appropriately and you will always get positive. You can never get negative because of this formula. Maximum in this case can never be negative. Maximum has to be positive. If you are still not convinced, go home, think of individual cases. You can take some values, whatever values you like, and try to compute. You will always get positive value because that's how the definition is there. Okay, the linear combination thing allows you to have that freedom. Okay, so that is canonical correlation, and we have something called as canonical variates. So these alpha i's and beta j's. So right now I have written in the scalar notation. So ideally what we do is we say that we have vectors x and y, and then we can have alpha prime x and beta prime y. Okay, as a linear combination. So this alpha and beta, they will be called as canonical variates. Okay, alpha and beta will be called as canonical variates. The coefficient vectors. Okay, and in the univariate case we used to have only one correlation and we used to stop there. Here, because we are in the multivariate case, we are going to have multiple canonical correlations. Okay, so the first choice of alpha beta would be such that the correlation is maximum. Next pair alpha beta would be chosen in such a way that the correlation is second maximum, and these alpha betas are orthogonal to the next alpha betas. Okay, and so on. So I'm not going to go into the actual formula today. We have to derive the formula and all. So that we will do in the next lecture. But remember that canonical correlation is just a generalization of multiple correlation. Okay, it is just generalization of multiple correlation, and generalizations in a sense that now you have group of variables on either side. There you used to have single dependent variable and a group of independent variables. Now you will have a group of variables on either side and you will try to compute correlation between these two groups of variables. So we are going to do it via vector notations, and we will have many canonical correlations, not single coefficient. How many will we have? So actually we have p variables on one side and k variables on other side. So assuming that both these vectors are non-singular, means their variances are non-singular matrices, the number of canonical correlation coefficients will be minimum of p and k. Okay, so if I have a group of 3 variables on one side and 2 variables on other side, I'll get 2 different canonical correlation coefficients. We'll call them first canonical correlation coefficient, second canonical correlation coefficient. Okay, but here you have to remember I am assuming that the sigma xx and sigma yy are both non-singular. Okay, then only I can have these many, otherwise it will depend on their ranks. Okay, so if they are non-singular, then number of canonical correlations between the vector x and vector y would be minimum of p and k. And canonical correlation is a generalization of multiple correlation. In fact, in the canonical correlation coefficient, if you choose one of the vectors to be unidimensional, means if you choose one of the vectors to be a scalar, then what you get is exactly same as multiple correlation. Okay, is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So today I will stop here. Do go and read multiple correlation again in detail. Okay, and we will start with the actual derivation of canonical correlation in the next lecture. Tomorrow we won't have live lecture. We will meet on Friday. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.